There's a particular kind of sentence that sounds casual on the surface but carries something much heavier underneath. And that's exactly what happened when Bradley Walsh, the man who has fronted the chase for the better part of 2 decades, quietly revealed that the show audiences have watched almost every single day is about to disappear from screens for over a year. Not cancelled. Not in crisis. But paused, deliberately, for just over 12 months. And the way Bradley talked about it wasn't defensive or nervous at all. If anything, there was something almost relieved in his tone, and that alone tells you something interesting about where his head is right now. Speaking to The Sun's TV mag, Bradley explained that the production team had essentially been stockpiling episodes, banking enough content that the show could comfortably step away without leaving a gap for viewers. He described everyone involved as thrilled about the break, framing it not as an ending but as a chance for the whole team to, in his words, go away and do other stuff. Think about how unusual that is to hear from the face of a daily quiz show. Most hosts cling to consistency. Bradley sounded like a man who'd been quietly waiting for permission to breathe. And that's where the real emotional core of this story sits. Because Bradley didn't just talk about rest. He talked about longing. He admitted he hadn't been able to do a drama in ages, and that this break finally gives him the opportunity to go back to that kind of work. There's something genuinely touching about hearing a performer, decades into an incredibly successful career, still talking about acting with that kind of quiet hunger. This isn't a man chasing relevance. This is someone who clearly still loves the craft that built his career long before quiz shows ever entered the picture. And it's not just talk. Bradley recently played Pop Larkin in ITV's The Larkins, stepping fully into a dramatic role after years of being known primarily as a presenter. For longtime fans, watching him inhabit a character rather than host a format probably felt like rediscovering a completely different side of him. And now, on top of that, he's preparing to front a brand new series for Sky History called Out of This World, blending scientific curiosity with genuine wonder as he explores some of the planet's greatest mysteries. It's a fascinating pivot, isn't it? The man millions associate with high-pressure quiz tension stepping into something reflective, curious, almost meditative in tone. But here's the part of the interview that really deserves a moment of pause, because it reveals something deeper about why this break doesn't feel like abandonment. Bradley spoke with real warmth about the show's crew, calling them the best team he's ever worked with, without exception. He described how the show has quietly become part of people's psyche over the years, how familiarity, in his experience, doesn't breed contempt so much as genuine happiness. That's such an interesting reframing, isn't it? We often assume repetition dulls affection. Bradley seems to be suggesting the opposite happened here. And then there's the detail that genuinely stops you. He mentioned that among everyone who's worked on the show over the years, roughly 20 children have been born to members of the production staff. 20. Sit with that for a second. That's not just a statistic about a long-running program. That's an entire hidden layer of human life quietly unfolding behind the cameras, families growing, milestones happening, all while viewers at home simply saw contestants competing for cash. Bradley calling that the most wonderful thing feels completely genuine, not like a scripted soundbite at all. So while some fans may understandably feel a flicker of worry seeing headlines about the chase going quiet for over a year, Bradley's own words paint a very different picture. This isn't a show in trouble. It's a show taking a deliberate, well-earned pause, giving its host room to chase creative curiosities he's clearly been holding on to, and giving an enormous, tight-knit production family room to simply live their lives for a while. And viewers won't be left completely without the chase either. While the main program rests, a new spin-off, The Chase Around the World, is set to launch shortly, sending the chasers across international locations as contestants attempt to track them down. So the format isn't disappearing. It's simply evolving, stretching into new territory while the original version quietly recharges. Maybe that's the real story here. Not an ending, but a reminder that even the most dependable fixtures on our screens are held together by real people who need rest, who have other passions, who occasionally deserve to feel like more than just a familiar face in a studio. What do you think Bradley will bring back from this break? And does knowing what's happening behind the scenes change how you'll watch the show when it eventually returns?